London on 1458 AM and DAB, smart speaker, mobile app and LeicaRadio.com.
This is Leica Radio.
From the Sky News Centre at 9, the Queen Consort says she will always remember her smile in a tribute to the Queen that will be televised later on the eve of her funeral. In a pre-recorded broadcast, Camilla recalls her wonderful blue eyes and praised her sense of duty.
It must have been so difficult for her being a solitary woman. There weren't women prime ministers or women presidents. She was the only one, so I think she carved her own role.
Last night, the Queen's 8 grandchildren paid their respects to their granny in Westminster Hall, standing vigil around her coffin. Today is the last day of the Queen's lying in state. The government says the estimated wait length in the queue is now 13.5 hours. Admiral Sir Ben Key, the First Sea Lord and Chief of Naval Staff, joined mourners in paying his respects to Her Majesty. He described the atmosphere there.
It's the stillness. You're just aware of everyone being within themselves. And normally for a hall that has been for 1,000 years full of the hustle and bustle at the heart of our lives, it really felt remarkably calm.
US President Joe Biden touched down in Air Force One at Stansted Airport late last night. The Prime Minister Liz Truss will meet the King before world leaders attend a state visit at Buckingham Palace later on. A 1-minute silence will be held at 8 o'clock this evening. In other news, a man's been charged with attempted murder after 2 police officers were stabbed in central London on Friday. 25-year-old Mohammed Rahman from Notting Hill will appear in court tomorrow. In sport, Tottenham moved joint top of the Premier League with a 6-2 thrashing of Leicester, whose manager Brendan Rodgers has admitted his job's at risk. Spurs are joined at the top by Manchester City, who beat Wolves 3-0. And Rangers ended a 3-game losing streak with a 2-1 win against Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership. That's the latest. I'm Emily Hume.
Yes, sir. Memory foam? Madam. King size. Miss. Double frame? Yes, that one's pocket sprung. Very breathable.
Business is booming at Michael's Bed Store. He needs more staff for his dream team, as they're all working flat out.
Have you got it in a single? I'll just check for you.
Indeed can help him find great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews easily, all on Indeed. To start hiring, visit Indeed.com/try today.
Leica Radio and Leica Gold. Winner at the Signature Awards 2022 for Community Excellence. Thank you. Leica Radio Weather is brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000.
Today's weather: light cloud and gentle breeze in London and surrounding areas. Top temperature 17 centigrade. Sunset is at 7:09 p.m.
Weather was brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com.
Leica Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Leica Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. Thank you, Sheena, for a fabulous show. You got more of Sheena after 10 o'clock, so we're taking what we describe in the industry as a 1-hour Sheena break. Welcome to this special edition of the programme dedicated to Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, whose funeral will be held tomorrow, attended by many heads of state and government, including the President of the United States and the President of India, both of whom arrived in the UK. As you know, we heard last week of the very sad news of the passing of our Queen at Balmoral at the age of 96. The death of the UK's longest-serving monarch means that we witnessed a historic change, with King Charles III becoming the head of state for the United Kingdom and 14 Commonwealth countries. This week, I'll be talking with several prominent members from the community, discussing their thoughts and feelings about the Queen and the events of last week. We also mourn the passing of Pavitiben Ramniklal Solanki, the co-founder of Garvey Gujarat and the Asian Media Group, who passed away on the 8th of September. Pavitiben was instrumental in building the Asian Media Group brands across 3 continents and has been an inspiration to all of us. We send her family, and especially Kalpesh and Sailesh, all our love and the strength to deal with this loss. In other news, the Minister of External Affairs of India has announced that India has assumed the presidency of the G20 for 1 year and will be hosting this prestigious G20 summit on the 9th and 10th of September 2023. Congratulations to them. And tennis legend Roger Federer announced his retirement from the sport. The 41-year-old Swiss star ends one of the greatest ever sporting careers in history with 20 Grand Slam victories to his name. And what's happening in Leicester? Last night, a 6-2 drubbing by Spurs. Come on, Foxes. We need a lift-off from the bottom of the league. Happy birthday this week to the restaurant legend of the Red Fort, Amin Ali, and to Ramsey. For our programme today, we'll be travelling from Northern Ireland to London to Birmingham to talk to our guests about this historic week. But before all that, let's hear some music.
घर से थे चले तो ये बात हो गई घर से थे चले तो ये बात हो गई न जाने क्यों उनसे मुलाकात हो गई नजरें ऐसे वो टकरा गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई चले तो ये बात हो गई न जाने क्यों उनसे मुलाकात हो गई नजरें ऐसे वो टकरा गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई आशिकी आ गई यार की दिलकशी भाग गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई दीवानी सी रात थी हुई घनी बरसात थी हवाओं से उलझी वो जुल्फे उन्होंने थाम जोली तो जुल्फे ऐसे वो बिखरा गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई आशिकी आ गई यार की दिलकशी भाग गई कि हमें आशिकी आ गई आशिकी आ गई.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. Our first guest on this special edition dedicated to Queen Elizabeth II is Alan Rutter, a Chelsea pensioner and former army man who served the nation for over 20 years across 3 continents. He joins us this morning from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Keith.
Alan, now tell us, you've served Queen and country for 20 years. What were your feelings about the events of last week?
I think, well, like the rest of the nation and the Commonwealth, it wasn't unexpected, but nonetheless, when it happened, it was still somewhat of a shock. The whole nation is saddened, and that's evident by all the things we see going on, all the crowds gathering. When the King came to Northern Ireland here, he was made welcome. He's been made welcome in Wales. Obviously in London, and he laid in state in Scotland for a couple of days, and the whole nation is paying their respects. We're trying to come to terms with it, and we're also coming to terms, of course, with our new King Charles.
Now, you must have very special and fond memories. I'm looking back to the times that I met Queen Elizabeth II. What are your lasting memories of her as a monarch? Because it's as if every single day of our lives, I mean, I'm 66 this year, so my entire life was, lived under Queen Elizabeth II. What are your memories of her? Why was she so special?
When I swore allegiance, as a 17-year-old young soldier, I joined the army, I swore allegiance to the Queen and the country. But to be honest, as a young man, I didn't really know what I was swearing to. But the Queen, when she was just 26 at her coronation, she swore allegiance to God to do her duty and to serve the country and the Commonwealth. And she's very much done that. She's been a magnificent Queen. Looking back, we can say without doubt she's been the greatest monarch that we've had. I think Charles has great shoes to fill, but I think if he, like his mother, leans heavily upon the Lord and looks for that wisdom that she had, then we should be fine for the future. But she had a great faith.
Final question.
And she spoke freely of that.
Final question, Alan. You are in Belfast in Northern Ireland, part of the United Kingdom. You're watching the live feed from Westminster Hall. All those people queuing up for 16 hours and more to pay their respects. Obviously, not all of us can do this because the funeral is tomorrow. This is an amazing event, isn't it? We'll never see an event of this kind again in our lifetime.
No, we're living through history. I mean, people will ask, where were you when? Much in the way they did when President Kennedy was shot. Everybody remembers the Twin Towers. And this, like that, is an event. It's a historical event, and people remember where they were when they heard the news. And much has been said about the Queen in the last week, and many more words will be said. But I think, I've already heard somebody referred to her as Queen Elizabeth II, the Great. And that's a title I think is well deserved.
Alan Rutter from Belfast, Chelsea pensioner, former army man, thank you so much for joining us today on Leica Radio. And the best of luck for the future. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you very much.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points. We'll be back after a short break.
Utsav Bharat, available on Sky 704, Virgin Media 802 and Yup TV.
As the cost of living is rising, your earnings need to do well as well. SBI UK has got some great news for your savings. SBI UK Instant Access Saving Account can earn you 1% with flexible access on your deposits. And if you go for fixed deposits, then your savings can earn you up to 3.4%. Terms and conditions apply. For more details, visit sbiuk.com. SBI UK is serving its customers in the UK for over 100 years. SBI UK is regulated by the FCA and the PRA.
Philip Schofield here. We Buy Any Car reckon you could find out how much your car's worth in under 30 seconds. I know, I didn't believe it myself, so I timed it. It's true. It actually took me only 26 seconds. Not that it's a race. So if you want to find out how much your car's worth, or you just want to beat my time, enter your reg number now at webuyanycar.com. Think I might give it another go. 21. Get in.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see webuyanycar.com/info.
The one thing COVID did give us, digital transformation. If you're serious about digital growth and would like a tactical approach to your digital marketing, then remember the name Harty Hanks. With over 20 years experience and a proven track record, we have the talent and know-how to deliver online success. Harty Hanks, experts in consultancy, branding, design, e-commerce, search and social. Call Harty Hanks today on 020 8827 1600 or visit hhdigital.uk. Harty Hanks, your partners for digital success.
Did you know Orm Cash and Carry are distributors and wholesalers of some of the leading ethnic food brands like TRS, Foodco, Co-Fresh and East End products? TRS, the taste you can trust, will have products stocked at Orm Cash and Carry. Whether retail or trade, visit Orm Cash and Carry, Unit 1, Braintree Industrial Estate, Ruislip, HA4 OEJ. Cannot get to the store? Then call 0208 323 88000 for delivery. Orm Cash and Carry. Quality and convenience, all under one roof.
On huge public demand, the most romantic evening is back. Ishq Karo, an evening of ghazals by Tawseef Akhtar, Sunday 13th November at Hayes, Beck Theatre. Tickets from £15. For seat bookings, please visit becktheatre.org.uk or call 07850 742 143. That is 07850 742 143. Media partners Sony TV, radio partner Laika Radio and Laika Gold. Ishq Karo by Tawseef Akhtar, brought to you by Samara Events UK.
ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਯਾਰੀ ਲਾ ਲਈ
ਕਿਹੜੀ ਯਾਰੀ ਵੇ ਸੁੱਕੀ ਲੱਕੜ ਜਾ
ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਲੋਜ ਹੋ ਗਏ
ਚਪੇੜੇ ਨਾ ਖਾਲੀ ਮੈਥੋਂ
ਮਾਦਾ ਲਾਡਲਾ ਸਟਾਰਿੰਗ ਤਰਸੇਮ ਜਸਰ ਨੀਰੂ ਬਾਜਵਾ ਤੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਕਾਮੇਡੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਤੜਕਾ 16 ਸਤੰਬਰ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕੀ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ
नए कलाकार नया परिवार हंसने के होंगे कई रीजन क्योंकि आ रहा है नया सीजन
The Kapil Sharma Show. Watch every Saturday and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. only on Sony TV.
Leica Radio is now available on mobile. Download the Leica Radio app now on your Android and iOS devices. The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. From Northern Ireland, we're going to go into southern England to talk to our next guest. He is the doyen of newspaper publishers in the United Kingdom. He's been in publishing for 50 years, and it is in fact the great C.B. Patel, the publisher and editor-in-chief of Asian Voice and Gujarat Samachar. Good morning, C.B.
Good morning, Keith, and good morning all the listeners.
C.B., Queen Elizabeth II was very special to you, and you met her on a number of occasions. Tell us just briefly about those occasions when you met Queen Elizabeth.
That's true. I was very fortunate. How lucky or honored. I met her 4 times, shook her hand, but the first meeting was very memorable. I can never forget. It was 1966, toward the end of the year. I was studying for my bar at law at Lincoln's Inn, and we had dinner. And we were told that there is a royal visitor. In the evening, Her Majesty came. Her Majesty, the greatest queen of the world, came in the hall, about 200 people. There were 9 of us sitting separately on our table for vegetarians. On one edge was me. Second edge was the Indian lady from Kolkata. She had come 3 days ago. She was having beautiful sari. And the Queen passed through the large, long passage, meeting students with a beautiful smile. making everybody comfortable. And when she stopped just near my table, she looked at the sari and the dress. I can't describe. She was amazed. She was so happy. So she went to the lady. In English, she said, "How are you?" And it's a beautiful sari, but the lady, Miss Asar, had come 3 days before. She was a bit embarrassed. So she looked at me, and I have to carry on conversation. I remember kindly, what matter? I said, look, she has come 3 days ago. She is from Kolkata.
Yeah.
Very confident Bhatia, Gujarati family. I said, ask her, is this sari a Banarasi sari or a South Indian sari?
Right. Now, you haven't been editor-in-chief for as long as the Queen was a monarch. You've got 20 years to go to reach 70 years as a yes. But what advice would you give to the King? Again, you've met King Charles on a number of occasions, and you've had the chance to interact with him. If he rang you up and said to you, C.B. Patel, you're a very wise man, what advice would you give me as King?
Got me in St. James Palace, but he didn't know me that personally. And
no, I understand that you're not on. I understand you're not his buddy. But if he rang you up and asked you for advice, what advice would you give King Charles III about being a monarch? What are the essential ingredients you think?
I genuinely believe King Charles is a very well groomed monarch here. People should realize that from his birth, from his childhood, he knew that one day or another he has to play an important role. And in the last, I would say, 40 years, he was being prepared gradually. And look, this royal family is a big firm. There's a lot of training and grooming, and people should realize that it is not just by chance that they become king or queen or prince or princess. So I think I don't have to give you any advice. I say, enjoy your life. Look ahead. Don't look back. That is one thing I would say. Don't look back. And I would say, follow all the lessons you learned and remember the great mother you had. That's all.
Final question about the lying in state. We see a lot of members of the Asian community who are queuing up to pay their respects to the Queen, many of whom, of course, were not born in this country but have acquired citizenship and have lived here for many years. Are you surprised to see the outpouring of grief from the Asian community, bearing in mind India's history and the history of Britain and India?
Of all the migrant communities in the UK, Indians are very fortunate. We have the longest relationship with Britain. Remember, in 1607, English sailing ships went to Gujarat, India. Also, Indians, in the last few years especially, because of their peace-loving nature, excellence in education, entrepreneurship, professions, philanthropy, arts, culture, somehow Indians have a special place in the heart of not only the royalty, but even the British upper class.
C.B. Patel...
A number of people we saw many. I didn't go myself because my doctor told me that at my age of 86, I should not stand in the line for more than 30 minutes. But I was there in my mind, in my spirit, praying for her. The body lying in the coffee, it's got its body.
Yeah. C.B. Patel, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your thoughts.
Long live the King and long live the memory of Her Majesty. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was C.B. Patel, the doyen of Asian broadcasting in the United Kingdom, sharing our thoughts, his thoughts with us about his meetings with the Queen and his advice for the new King. We're going to take a short break. Thank you for listening to Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I will be talking again to someone else after we enjoy another song.
जब से मिला है इश्क तेरा सांसों से दिल तक हूँ मैं तेरा जब से मिला है इश्क तेरा सांसों से दिल तक हूँ मैं तेरा प्यार तेरी अखियां दे विच पढ़ के बेशक मैंने तुझको सौंप दिया मुझे है कि तेरी परवाह जिंद सारी मैं तेरे पे वरिया हो मैं ता इश्क इश्क करके ओ सारी दुनियादारी छड़ के ओ तुझे एक बात मैं कहना सुन कि सिर्फ तू मेरी मैं तेरा तू बस मेरी बन के रहना ए मुझे दस्तखत कर देना सोने कोरे कागजों पे लिखे अपने प्यार के किस्से पाना है तुझको बस ये तय कर लिया है कब से मांगा था ये रब से आ गई तू मेरे हिस्से सारे जमाने को ये पता चल गया है ना जाने मुझको क्या हुआ है ओ मैं ता इश्क इश्क करके ओ सारी दुनियादारी छड़ के ओ तुझे एक बात मैं कहना सुन कि सिर्फ तू मेरी मैं तेरा तू बस मेरी बन के रहना ए मुझे दस्तखत कर देना सोने ओ चाहे लाख ज़माना मारे ताना तेरे बिन नहीं रहना है मैं तो तेरे पीछे पीछे सारी जिंदड़ी चलना है ना जाने मुझ पे तेरा क्या असर हुआ है धीरे धीरे तेरी ओर बढ़ने लगा है दिल बेसब्र अब हुआ है ओ मैं ता इश्क इश्क करके ओ सारी दुनियादारी छड़ के ओ तुझे एक बात मैं कहना सुन कि सिर्फ तू मेरी मैं तेरा तू बस मेरी बन के रहना ए मुझे दस्तखत कर देना सोने
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
Leica Radio.
Flight updates are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Flights, hotels, and holidays.
Let's go for a flight update. All flights are as scheduled, but please check with your flight operators before heading to the airport.
Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000.
Leica Radio.
Traffic and travel.
In West London, the Heathrow Spur is still queuing heading into the airport. It's all the way back to the main carriageway at Junction 4. Heading out of town, the A4 West Cromwell Road is down to one lane coming from Warwick Road at Earl's Court through to the Hammersmith flyover. And there's also a lane closed from the Hammersmith flyover to the Hogarth roundabout. Between Golders Green and Hampstead, Finchley Road is closed heading into town between Cricklewood Lane and Hendon Way because of a burst water main. And closures remain in place around Parliament Square and Buckingham Palace while the Queen is laying in state at Westminster Hall. On the tubes, the Elizabeth line will run today for the first time on a Sunday between Paddington and Abbey Wood. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
Ah, summer. Factor 50? Check. Soggy poolside books? Check. A stylish SUV for sunny road trips? Ah, no problem. Skoda has you covered with the Skoda Summer SUV event. Save £500 on the Kamiq, £750 on the Karoq, and £1,000 on the Kodiaq. Summer is back on. Skoda. Orders placed with participating retailers between 15th of August and 30th of September and delivered by 31st of December 22. Retail customers only and excludes SE Tech for Karoq.
This is Leica Radio. HSBC UK presents Leica Gold's first anniversary celebratory event, taking place on Saturday, October 8th between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. A celebration of live music featuring memorable songs by legendary Bollywood artists plus Bollywood dancers. Tickets priced at £10 and available from eventbrite.co.uk. Food will be available for an additional fee, along with special offers for our listeners at our lifestyle exhibition. Sponsored by HSBC UK, opening up a world of opportunity.
Try Caratino Better Ghee, the healthier, low-cost, cholesterol-free butter ghee alternative. Caratino Better Ghee, available at Tesco, Asda, Morrison's and local grocery stores.
Leica Mobile is offering extra gigs of data on National Plus bundle. Get 20 GB of data, unlimited UK minutes, unlimited UK text, plus 100 international minutes to call India, Pakistan, USA, Canada and many more for just £10. EU roaming included. This is a limited time offer, so please visit leicamobile.co.uk to buy yours today. For new customers only. T&Cs apply. Leica Mobile.
आजकल सैटको के हैं चर्चे हर जबान पर
सैटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स के जलवे हैं
हर तरफ हर जगह
सिर्फ सैटको दिखे चीजें ताजा रखें और ज्यादा टिके
इसलिए सैटको पे हर किसी की नजर
जहां जिंदगी वहां सैटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स
बेगम कल जो डिनर तुम्हारी सहेली के यहाँ खाया था
वो सहेली ने नहीं बनाया था, उसने हवेली से मंगवाया था। हवेली रेस्टोरेंट इल्फर्ड लेन।
तो तुम भी बुकिंग करा लो और अपनी सहेली को भी बुला लो। मेरा मतलब है हवेली को अपनी सहेली बना लो।
लाहौर के रिवायती खानों के लिए अब लाहौर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा।
Haveli now also offers outside catering, so book them for your parties. Haveli, Ilford Lane, IG1.
Indian Idol is back. Indian Idol. Watch every Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. only on Sony TV.
मैनू करे हम मना मैं कसोन मार के ते दंद बाहर काट दे जो डॉक्टर ने कहता वो कहता जो मैं नहीं मनिया वो मैं नहीं मनिया
मां दा लाडला स्टारिंग तरसेम जसर नीरू बाजवा ते पाकिस्तानी कॉमेडियन दा तड़का 16 सितंबर तो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕੀ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. We're talking to prominent members of the community from different parts of the country. We've been to Northern Ireland, we've been to the south of England, and now we're going to go over to Birmingham, Britain's second largest city, to talk to the former Lord Mayor of Birmingham, Mohammed Afzal. He's been a member of the Birmingham Faiths Leaders Group for many years, and indeed is one of their longest serving councillors ever. Thank you for joining us, former Lord Mayor Mohammed Afzal.
Thank you.
Now, Mohammed Afzal, you met the Queen on a number of occasions. Tell me about your lasting impressions when you spent that day with her.
I think she was very kind, very courteous, a very gorgeous personality. And the last time when I met her, it was the opening of a museum in Birmingham. And I spent more than 4 or 5 hours with her because she opened the museum, then there was a lunch, and then later on she had a walkabout in New Street, Birmingham.
She was very special, wasn't she? Because she wasn't just a London monarch. She went to different parts.
Everybody, she was a monarch for Great Britain as well as for Commonwealth countries.
Yeah, because she visited different parts of the country, and when she came to places like Birmingham or Leicester or Manchester, she seemed to be very, very well briefed. In the conversations that you had with her, did you find that she had a lot of local knowledge about the situation in Birmingham?
experience, she had a lot of local knowledge, and wherever she was going for that event, she had a very full briefing about that, and she was very knowledgeable. When she came to open the museum, she have read the history about the painters 100 years ago or even longer than that, and she knew that whose painting is this and that. Yes.
It's been remarkable, obviously, when people lose people in their families, whether they are parents, grandparents, whatever relative they are. There's a coming together of families. But we've seen the royal family in particular behave in the most extraordinary way. We feel very proud to be British, very proud to be able to see not just King Charles, but also his sons and the grandchildren. They all seem to have played a part in this.
Yeah, I think they have behaved very well. And I have the privilege to meet Prince William as well, because he came to Birmingham on 6th May, just only 3 months ago, and I had the privilege to meet him as well. They are all very kind. I also met Princess Anne and also Prince Edward as well. So they are very knowledgeable and they are well treated.
What was Prince William like when you spoke to him? He seems like, I mean, apart from being an Aston Villa supporter, which I'm sure he must have gone to Villa Park when he came to Birmingham. How did you find him?
Right, he came to Villa Park training academy for the sports, and but he was also very keen about the Commonwealth Games.
Mohammed Afzal, former Lord Mayor of Birmingham, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us today on Leica Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz. We're going to take a short break and then we're going to be back on our tour of the United Kingdom, talking to different people in different parts of the country about their attitude to what's happened in the last week, how they've sensed the last week. And if you're listening to Leica Radio and you're in that queue, because as I've said, there are many South Asian people who I have seen in the queue waiting to pay their respects to Her Majesty the Queen. If you're listening on your iPods in that 16-hour wait this morning to pay tribute to Her Majesty the Queen, if you've got any thoughts, why don't you give us a ring and we can share them with the rest of our listeners. In the meantime, if you're there, all respect to you. As I was coming in on the tube this morning, I did notice a lot of people getting off at Westminster, quite a lot getting off at Bermondsey, because that's where the queue actually starts. And then, of course, you have to wait there until 6:30 tomorrow morning. You have only until 6:30 tomorrow morning. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio. Join me after the break.
पहली बार मैंने देखा, बार बार फिर से देखा, देख के भी दिल नहीं भरा, मैं की करा तुमसे करके मीठी मीठी बातें, जाग के गुजारूं रातें, बावला हुआ हूँ इस तरह, मैं की करा तेरे बिन कहीं दिल नहीं लगदा, पढ़ के कमला तैनू ही तकदा, मुझको बाकी दुनिया से सारी लगती सिर्फ तुम हो प्यारी, हो मुझे पसंद इस तरह, मैं की करा
पास तेरे 150 मेरे घंटे बीत जाए अब तो 5 ही मिनट में ऐसा क्यों बन गया निखट्टू होके तुझ पे लट्टू रोमियो हुआ था जैसे लट्टू जूलियट पे ऐसा क्यों मेरे होश गुम हुए हैं ऐसे शब्दों में बताऊं कैसे समझो भावनाओं को जरा मैं की करूं तुमको पहली बार मैंने देखा बार बार फिर से देखा देख के भी दिल नहीं भरा मैं की करूं सारी लगती सिर्फ तुम हो प्यारी हो मुझे पसंद इस तरह मैं की करूं
Keith Vaz on Talking Points Leica.
Welcome back. You're listening to Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio. Today's programme is a special edition dedicated to our beloved Queen Elizabeth II, who sadly passed away last week. From Birmingham, let's go to our final guest of the week. Let's go to northwest London and talk to Agnes Lawson, a CEO and co-founder, entrepreneur. She owns and manages MPA Coaching, a recruitment and placing agency, as well as Samela Events, an event management company. Now, we've covered all the faiths. We've talked to someone from the Hindu faith. We've talked to someone from the Protestant religion. We've talked to someone from the Muslim faith. And now we'll go to someone from the black churches and talk to Agnes. Good morning, Agnes. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Vaz. Thank you for having me.
Now, this is an incredible week for you, hasn't it? The death of a monarch. I mean, since you arrived in this country from Guinea in Africa and then via France, you've never experienced something like this because France and Guinea do not have monarchies.
No, we don't have. In France, they beheaded their kings. So, yes.
Yeah. What does it feel like for you to be witnessing it? What kind of impression has it had on you and your young son David?
It has been really impressive to see all the community, the nations, the countries coming together to really pay their respects, not only from the dignitaries but also from commoners, if I could say, people like myself and others, giving their respect. Putting the day that we knew that she died. I mean, the internet, WhatsApp was flooded with pictures, videos of her, and it's. I really liked it. That sense of community, that sense of togetherness. It really touched me. And I have to say, on the following day, the Friday, I went to buy a newspaper and I saw her pictures everywhere, and I really shed a tear. I have to admit, I shed a tear.
What do you think was so special about Elizabeth II? It's interesting because as I was coming off the tube this morning, of course they said you'd arrived at Canary Wharf, you could get the Elizabeth line. We've got an airport building, QE, the second terminal at Heathrow named after her, the Queen's Building. We have the biggest liner, the QE2, named after her. We've got the Elizabeth line, so she's going to be with us every day, isn't she? There's so much that's named up. But what did she mean to you as a person?
What she meant to me, well, obviously in the frame of my business, I will always tell the students, okay, go to Buckingham Palace, pay your respect to the Queen when you first arrive in the UK. She's the head of the state. But what she really meant is during, not long ago, all this year actually, I was watching a Netflix series about her. And it really enabled me to be attached and close to her, seeing how she went to power, she came to power, her life with Prince Philip, the trips that she's done, all the different times of her reign. And it really touched me. I saw how she was a very determined, humble woman, but at the same time she had a vision for the monarchy, she had a vision for the crown. And I could say, maybe with a lot of humility, that our stories could be a bit in parallel type of. That I came in this country, I didn't know anything, and I really embraced the country, the life, the culture, and yes, she touched me a lot. It's a lady that I would forever remember. Forever remember. Yes.
And of course, when you were in France, you have a republic there. There were a long history of the monarchy. President Macron, I understand, is landing today. We have heads of state from over 100 countries that have been invited, heads of government. It's not the kind of day that we should drive into London, is it?
Yes, I know, but I have to go to church, so unfortunately.
Yeah, but
and I'm planning to maybe to pay my respect also in Westminster.
Are you going to do that? Well, have you got a flask? What are you going to take with you? Because it's a 16-hour wait, Agnes Lawson. Do you know that?
I know, but I'm prepared.
You are a genuine heroine. Agnes Lawson, thank you so much for joining us today. On your way to church to no doubt pray for Queen Elizabeth II, but also to pray for King Charles III. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. We're going to take a short break and then we're going to be back for the end of the programme. If you are staying tuned, please stay tuned for Sheena. She's been having just a quick cafe latte in order to comply with EU. Well, we're not subject to EU regulations anymore. So, contract of employment issues. And so we've had to give her a break because she's been on since 7 o'clock in the morning. She's having a cafe latte and then she's going to take over at 10 o'clock. But before that, let's have another song.
जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है। तू धार है नदिया की, मैं तेरा किनारा हूँ, तू मेरा सहारा है, मैं तेरा सहारा हूँ। आँखों में समुंदर है, आशाओं का पानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है। एक प्यार का नगमा है। जो दिल को तसल्ली दे, वो साज उठा लाओ, दम घुटने से पहले ही आवाज उठा लाओ, खुशियों का तरन्नुम है, अश्कों की ज़बानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं तेरी मेरी कहानी है
Leica Gold is one, and we're celebrating this milestone with you. HSBC UK presents the Leica Gold First Anniversary Celebratory event on Saturday, October 8th, between 12 midday and 6 p.m. at the Blue Room venue at 220 Headstone Lane, Harrow, HA2 6LY. A celebration with live music featuring memorable songs by legendary Bollywood artists plus Bollywood dancers. Tickets priced at £10 and available from eventbrite.co.uk. Food will be available for an additional fee, along with special offers for our listeners at our lifestyle exhibition. Remember, Saturday, October 8th from 12 midday. Sponsored by HSBC UK. Opening up a world of opportunity.
Mom, have you bought some of those delicious noodles?
You mean Coca, the king of noodles? Coca means delicious. Variety of flavors available in Coca Packet, Coca Cup and Coca Bowl noodles. Suitable for vegetarians and halal approved. The king of noodles, Coca noodles, packets, cups and bowls, now available everywhere in the UK.
Feeling trapped in your mobile phone contract? Looking for something more flexible? No worries. Leica Mobile is offering you pay-as-you-go bundle plans with 50% discount. Buy your SIM card online at leicamobile.co.uk and get the flexibility to change your bundle plan every month. Just pay for what you need. Visit leicamobile.co.uk today for a more flexible mobile provider. For new customers only. EU roaming included. T's and C's apply. Leica Mobile.
सब जरूरतों में साथ निभाएं जैसे
सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स
हर मौके पर काम ये आए घर घर खुशियां लाए
जहां जिंदगी वहां सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स
Hasu World now provides flight tickets to all the destinations as well as fit-to-fly RT-PCR tests. Visit hasuworld.com or call 0300 124 6500 for exclusive flight rates. ATOL protected.
નમસ્કાર જય માતાજી લંડન વાસીઓ હું છું આદિત્ય ગઢવી અને તારીખ 24 અને 25 સપ્ટેમ્બરના રોજ હું આવી રહ્યો છું લંડન ખાતે ધમેજા લોહાણા સેન્ટર સાઉથ હેરોમાં તમને બધાને આપણા સૌનો ફેવરિટ ફેસ્ટિવલ નવરાત્રી ઉપર મોજ કરાવવા માટે મારા ગરબા લોકગીતો દુહા છંદો ઉપર ઝૂમવા થઈ જાવ તૈયાર
Tickets available on eventbrite.co.uk.
नए कलाकार नया परिवार हंसने के होंगे कई रीजन क्योंकि आ रहा है नया सीजन
The Kapil Sharma Show. Watch every Saturday and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. only on Sony TV.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. The last few days will always be etched in the memories of all of us. Some will have emotional thoughts. Some on the programme today have expressed gratitude, while others have shared love with the memory of Queen Elizabeth II. A new chapter has surely been written as we welcome the third king named Charles. By the way, I forgot yesterday's birthdays when I mentioned them earlier on was also Narendra Modi's birthday, so happy birthday to the Prime Minister of India. My thanks to Sheena for producing my programme today. She's brought her latte in. It's the only bit of liquid she's had since 7 o'clock. Sheena, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for bringing the latte, first of all.
What have you got planned for later on, and what's planned for tomorrow on Like a Radio?
Okay, it's... we are keeping it very simple. So it's going to be top stories, and that will be live updates. And not just that, we are radio, so we'll be paying tribute as well. So Like a Radio and Like a Goal will not be broadcasting any commercials on Monday 19th of September, and it's as a sign of respect on the day of Her Majesty's the Queen's funeral. And we'll also be observing a 1-minute silence as well, as we all are aware of, at 8 p.m. today itself.
Right.
And
as a broadcaster, I mean, this is very unusual for you, isn't it? I mean, we're not the BBC, so we don't stop playing music. But how different has it been for you as a broadcaster?
I think it's just that you understand people emotion. Radio is all about that. People have been texting us. They have been sharing how they are feeling about it. And that is the most important thing for any broadcasting company, to understand the emotion, whether it's BBC or a radio. You know, we are just trying to understand how they are feeling in such a state. But yes, as I live near to Windsor, so who knows, I might be there tomorrow.
Thank you, Sheena. We look forward to hearing from you after 10. And thank you also to my assistant editor, Jemit, who's covering this week for my editor, Adam. Please stay tuned to Like a Radio, Britain's greatest Asian radio station. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Like a Radio, broadcasting from London as we prepare for a momentous day tomorrow. God bless Queen Elizabeth II and God save King Charles III. Let's hear this song from Shiddat.
सजदे तेरे कर सकूं मांगूं दुआ साथ होने की तेरे कांधे पे सर रख सकूं धागा एक बांधूं तुझको मन्नत बना लूं कागज पे दिल के तेरी सूरत बना लूं छूटे कभी ना वो आदत बना लूं शिद्दत बना लो तुझे किस्मत बना लो मेरी चाहत बना लो दिल से मैं मांगू इबादत बना लो छूटे कभी ना वो आदत बना लो शिद्दत बना लो तुझे किस्मत बना लो मेरी चाहत बना लो दिल से मैं मांगू इबादत बना लो छूटे कभी ना वो आदत बना लो शिद्दत बना लो तुझे तेरी मेरी जब एक है तो क्यों है अलग रास्ते इश्क की ऐसी कहावत बना लो पानी पे लिख दूं लिखावट बना लो गूंजे सदा वो आहट बना लो शिद्दत बना लो तुझे दिल की मैं तुझको सजावट बना लूं कुछ भी ना बोलूं मुस्कुराहट बना लूं बरसे खुदा की वो बरकत बना लूं शिद्दत बना लूं तुझे इस किस्मत बना लो मेरी चाहत बना लो